This video is for the April 14th, Frida and Diego's marriage. Always start by typing your name and your section number. The first thing that we're going to read today is a letter that Frida wrote to her friends. It's about her marriage. We're going to listen to the first few paragraphs. You are free to read all of it for your essay at the end, but we're going to focus on our questions, and those are answered earlier in the text. So while we're listening, we want to listen for what does she say the saddest part of her situation is? Why does she dislike or hate herself so much? And we're going to find evidence from the text. And then we also want to find out what Diego did as her husband. What did he do to her? And we want to cite our evidence from the text. So the first thing I'm going to do is play the first few paragraphs, and you can listen to the video while it plays.
Letter to Ella and Bertram Wolfe, from the letters of Frida Kahlo, Cartas Apasionadas. Author, Frida Kahlo, compiled by Martha Zamora. Publisher, Chronicle Books, New York, New York. Produced by Marquand Books, Seattle, Washington. Published 1995. Thursday, October 18, 1934. Ella and Boyd. It's been such a long time since I've written that I don't know where to start this letter. But I don't want to give long and boring excuses and tell you long stories about why I have not written in so many months. You know all I have been through, so I think you'll understand my situation, even if I don't tell you all the details. I had never suffered so much and did not think I could take so much pain. You cannot even imagine what state I am in, and I know it is going to take me years to be able to get out of this mess that I have in my head. At the beginning, I thought there was a solution, since I thought that what had happened would be something that would last a short time, and would not be serious. But every day, I am more and more convinced that it was just wishful thinking. It is a serious thing, with serious consequences, as you can imagine. I had trusted that Diego would change, but I can see and know that it is impossible. It's just a whim on my part. Naturally, I should have understood from the beginning that it will not be me who will make him live in this or that way, especially when it comes to such a matter. Now that he is back to work, he is acting the same way. I had hoped that by working he would forget it all, but on the contrary, nothing can take him away from what he believes and considers to be right. Ultimately, all my attempts are ridiculous and stupid. He wants total freedom, which he always had and would have now if he had acted sincerely and honestly toward me. What makes me saddest is that we are not even friends anymore. He always lies to me and hides every detail of his life, as if I were his worst enemy. We live false lives that are full...
Okay, pause. So I heard the answer to my very first question here. What makes me saddest is that we are not even friends anymore. What does she say is the saddest part of her current situation? Okay, using that line, go ahead and fill in your answer there. Okay, I'm going to continue playing the sound.
...of stupidity, which I cannot take anymore. First, he has his work, which protects him from many things, and then his adventures, which keep him entertained. People look for him, and not me. I know that, as always, he is full of concerns and worries about his work. However, he lives a full life without the emptiness of mine. I have nothing because I don't have him. I never thought he was everything to me, and that, separated from him, I was like a piece of trash. I thought I was helping him to live as much as I could, and that I could solve any situation in my life alone, without complications of any kind. But now I realize I don't have any more than any other girl, disappointed at being dumped by her man. I am worth nothing. I know how to do nothing. I cannot be on my own.
Okay, I'm going to pause the text again there. Let's look at that second question. Why does Kahlo say she dislikes and hates herself so much? Cite evidence from her text. To me, it's very strong evidence here that she feels like any other girl, right? She's not different from anyone else. And we're going to listen and we're going to hear, my situation seems so ridiculous and stupid to me that you can't imagine how I dislike and hate myself. I've lost my best years being supported by a man. So if we continue listening to the reading, we can go back and we can hear this line right here. Basically, I am worth nothing. I know how to do nothing, and I cannot be on my own. So listen right here and in this next paragraph for your answer to number 2.
My situation seems so ridiculous and stupid to me that you can't imagine how I dislike and hate myself. I've lost my best years being supported by a man, doing nothing else but what I thought would benefit and help him. I never thought about myself, and after 6 years, his answer is that fidelity is a bourgeois virtue, and that it exists only to exploit people and to obtain an economic gain. Believe me, I never thought of it from that point of view. I know I was as stupid as they come, but I was sincerely stupid. I imagine, or at least I hope, that...
Okay, so here she's saying that she's stupid. She's calling herself, saying that she doesn't know anything. And so we want to know, what did Diego do to make her feel this way? And we're going to cite evidence in our answer. So we can go back to this line right here. And I find this a little difficult to understand at first. But the longer that, or the more words that we can identify in here, the more we can understand about what he did wrong. So she said that after 6 years, right, so they've been married for 6 years, his answer is that fidelity is a bourgeois virtue. So bourgeois is like of expensive taste, right? It's like the rich and wealthy people of society. And so fidelity is a virtue of rich people. Fidelity is a word meaning that you're faithful to something. So if we're thinking about them being married, and a question of him being faithful to her, I start thinking that he has not been faithful to her, and so that he's cheated on her. So when I unpack this little statement right here, I find out that Diego has actually cheated on Frida, and so now she is very upset that she's left in the situation where she loved a man who couldn't be faithful to her, and now she feels like she has nothing because she's supported him all of this time, and she's really lost that time that she supported him because he wasn't even faithful to her. So she put all her time and energy into someone who is basically saying, well, I know we're married, but that's just the lofty goal. That's just something that people dream of being, is faithful to each other, but they're not actually faithful. So I can use that on my number 3. What did he do?